You're watching RTV News with me, Jane Mutoni. President Paul Kagame has met with members of World Alliance of International Financial Centers who are in Rwanda for their third board meeting. The Rwanda Development Board is encouraging the private sector in Rwanda to get ready to make full use of the upcoming CHOGM Business Forum, which will take place in Rwanda. Everyone, welcome to the news in details. Now, President Paul Kagame has met with members of World Alliance of International Financial Centers who are in Rwanda for their third board meeting. Rwanda joined the World Alliance of International Financial Centers in 2020 and has established partnerships with financial centers in Casablanca, Qatar, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Jersey. The alliance was formed in 2018 when financial services leaders from around the globe assembled in Paris to announce the strategic initiative. The National Consultative Forum of Political Organizations in Rwanda has announced that it has decided to focus on educating the youth on the truth about what can potentially destroy Rwandan unity in order to counteract people who call themselves politicians and sow the seeds of division, things that can hinder the progress that has been made in building Rwandan unity. Martina Abera reports.
The National Consultative Forum of Political Organizations in Rwanda discussed its role in promoting the unity of Rwandans. The history of Rwanda shows that the colonists were the first to sow the seeds of division that were the root cause of the collapse of Rwandan unity. However, post-colonial political parties also promoted racist and divisive policies that led to the genocide against the Tutsi. The Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, says that this serves as a major assignment to current political parties.
All the political parties that were created in 1959 came to be when the belligerents were in power. There were two political parties, Parmehutu and Aprosoma. These two weren't created for the interest of all Rwandans. Even the political programs that were decided on by the Congress were made to show that the country was for Hutus and that Rwanda had its owners. This would also come into the politics of the political party, yet they were the ones running the country. This is why it is important for us to dive into our country's history in order for us to be able to see what was used to destroy the unity, which was the same strategy used in 1994, where more than 1 million lives were taken.
Non-profit organizations for the survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi have long expressed the concern over the continued spread of hate speech and genocidal ideology. Nonetheless, the spokesperson of the National Consultative Forum of Political Organizations in Rwanda, Honorable Fatou Haririmana, says that as a forum, they have come up with a strategy of educating the youth that will take the lead in fighting against those who want to take them back to the dark history. Us as political parties don't give those who want to disrupt the unity time, because if we did, we would be giving them power. Why would we give them such power? For them to think that they're in control? No. The reality is that they are powerless. What we need to do as political parties is to teach the youth and help them learn their history so that they can be able to fight against those who are trying to take us back. We have our own path to unity that we hope for. The youth educated by this forum are from 11 recognized political parties in Rwanda. We have a dark and hard past that we came from, and that is why we came to join political parties so that we can do better. That is why we need to take the time to learn about our history and understand it on a deeper level. Honorable Tito Rutaremara, chairman of the Rwanda Elders Advisors Forum, also said that educating the youth is about building a solid foundation for the unity of Rwandans.
The youth were born in an era of unity. They don't know the struggles that were experienced to get here. So it is easy for them to be deceived, which could bring about problems. So an initiative needs to be taken for the youth to learn and know their history, because they cannot always remember our country's history.
The Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement is calling on political parties to prevent and deal with those who spread the hate speech and genocide ideology through the use of social media, using the cover politics, democracy, and freedom of expression. Martina Abera, RTV News.
Thank you, Martina, for that report. Now, the Rwanda Development Board is encouraging the private sector in Rwanda to get ready to make full use of the upcoming Chogam Business Forum, which will take place in Rwanda. The Division Manager of Investment Promotion and Export Marketing in RDB, Philip Lucky, says that the Chogam Business Forum is scheduled to take place in June. He says this will be a great opportunity to bring together investors from different sectors here in Rwanda and from abroad, hence a possibility of business and investment cooperation.
We have different categories, as I described. One of the things we are emphasizing on is service delivery in hotels, restaurants, and in transport, because the goal is to be ready to provide services that are on the international standard to the delegates from abroad that will be attending the forum. Secondly, we want to leave a legacy and leave them with a good impression, as this will make them wish to come back, be it for tour purposes or business. So in order to achieve this, we have to do sensitization campaigns to ensure proper service delivery. We are doing this in partnership with the RDB Tourism Regulation Department, along with other partners, in order for this to be successful, as we also encourage all Rwandans in different sectors to provide good services, as this will provide a good image to the country.
Kazawadi Papias, president of Federation of African Engineering Organizations, says that RDB's ongoing discussions with various stakeholders will help them to get enough productive information.
There are ways to meet a lot of people that do various activities across the world that are similar to what we do as a private sector. It is a good opportunity to learn and share knowledge and experience. As Rwandans, we should make good use of this opportunity because people pay for such experiences, but we shall have it right here in our country. So this is our chance to learn more.
Rwanda Senate President Dr. Augustin Iyamuremye has noted that the fact that there are Rwandans living in Belgium that actively seek to fight the government of Rwanda, and also that some members of the parliament in that country support them, is a problem, but that it is also commendable that Belgium as country does not support their actions. The observation made following a meeting between the Senate President and the Belgian ambassador in Rwanda. The two countries enjoy good bilateral relations and extensive cooperation in sectors like agriculture and health, and their two parliaments also cooperate.
So we discussed several projects because the President of the Senate has also been a minister at the time, Minister of Agriculture, for instance, and agriculture is an area in which we still remain active. We've talked about the value-added chain, for instance, in agriculture. And we also discussed, if you want, parliamentary diplomacy, because it's very important that parliaments and democratic institutions have contacts between one another. In Rwanda, everybody talks about the Commonwealth Summit now, Chogam, but let's not forget that in October there will be a large meeting, an important meeting of parliaments from all over the world that will gather here, and it will be an excellent opportunity for the Rwandese Senate and Rwanda in general to show its advantages to the world.
Dr. Augustin Iyamuremye has called for the establishment of friendship committees between both parliaments to further reinforce the cooperation that exists between them. He also responded to questions about the actions of some MPs in Belgium and if there is any authorities there can do about it.
There are some things that they can do as the leaders of that country, but there are also things they cannot do, especially when you consider that those MPs that support people who are fighting the country do so as individuals, not as government envoys. There, a person can adopt certain agendas, but that person is not supported by the country.
A delegation of South Sudan People's Defense Force officers who are on visit in Rwanda on Tuesday had joint discussions with the country's Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion and the Ministry of Defense about the achievements of Rwanda on gender empowerment. Olive Nete reports.
This delegation of South Sudan People's Defense Force officers, led by the Director General of Civil Military Relations in the Ministry of Defense in the South Sudan, Major General Malak Ajok, are on an exchange visit on gender empowerment in Rwanda. On Monday, these envoys visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial and the Campaign Against Genocide Museum. On Tuesday, in joint discussions with the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion, they discussed about how far with the implementation of national gender policy in Rwanda. Professor Jeanette Bayisenge, the Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, notes that despite the achievements made so far, there is still a lot to be done and that they can learn from others to improve and achieve more.
We know that the challenges that Rwandan families, women and girls in Rwanda are facing are almost similar with the issues that girls in other countries, whether in Africa or outside Africa, are almost similar. So having people coming to us, it's not actually learning from us, it's sharing experiences, because we do also still face some challenges. So hearing from what they are doing at their level can inform what we could do to deal with the remaining challenges we might be facing. So it's a learning experience, learning from each other.
In the afternoon, this delegation of South Sudan visited the headquarters of the Rwanda Defense Force, where they discussed about capacity building and women empowerment in the Army of Rwanda. Lieutenant Colonel Stella Uwineza in the Air Force notes that women also contribute to the development of the country and that this visit will help in sharing experiences that are beneficial to both countries.
A lot have been done. From recruitment, we have a large number of young girls joining RDF, whether at cadet courses or at basic training. They have something to learn from us, but also we can also learn from them. In security, we cannot say, we all have experiences to share and to learn from each other and to continue in this area of women empowerment.
Brigadier General David Lokonga Moses, the senior administrator in the Ministry of Defense in the South Sudan, notes that the achievements of Rwanda is a good example that can assist in the development of their country.
The purpose of our visit to Rwanda is very, very important. That is an exchanging learning program to come and share experiences. We noted that the mainstream women involvement in the army, in the participation of, creating a kind of development in the country. We discovered here that it has been very encouraged that this is an ideal, that Rwanda is one of the countries we can learn from each other.
So far, Rwanda has made progress in gender equality and promotion, where it is leading with 61.3% female members in the parliament and ranked 7th globally in closing gender gaps. Olive Nete, RTV News.
On Tuesday, the United Nations Department of Health and Family Services handed over reproductive health commodities and maternal life-saving medicine donated by UNFPA to the government of Rwanda, expected to help reduce the number of unplanned pregnancies. CD Patel reports.
The United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, UNFPA, handed over to Rwanda Biomedical Center the reproductive health commodities and maternal life-saving medicine worth USD 1,407,000 as a part of UNFPA contribution to the National Commodity Supply Plan of 2021-2022. These tools and medicines are said to play a role in combating unplanned pregnancies, helping families and those who do not have access to family planning services, and preventing unplanned pregnancies. The National Bureau of Health, RBC, is back to expanding its funding and newer family planning services.
As we approach any of our target populations, whenever they are, so women, young women included, I think one of the things that we've mentioned today is that we see family planning and sexual reproductive health as a cornerstone of sustainable growth, of sustainable socio-economic development. So rather than maybe target one population rather than the other one, we say where are the unmet needs, and that's where the focus becomes. So if we find that maybe a subgroup of the population needs more attention, then what we do is we ensure that we get to that group.
The modern contraceptive prevalence rate (MCPR) increased from 47.5% to 58%. Unmet need for family planning has still remained very high at 13.6% for the past decade. Sexually active unmarried women also have a higher demand for family planning than currently married women, 87% versus 78%, and they reported a higher unmet need as well, 37% versus 14%. The mortality rate can be decreased if the supply chain of commodities, life-saving medicines and equipment is secure and effective. UNFPA representative in Rwanda, Mr. Kwabena Santintiamoa, says that they are pleased with the Rwanda's progress in the field of planning offsprings.
Forget, we always say voluntarily. It has to be voluntary. So it's not imposing on any individual in terms of the number of children one has to have. You agree that when you have more children, automatically, depending on your income level, and even if you are wealthy, there is always a stretch compared to having the number of desired children that one wants to have. So it is important we take note of the word voluntary. When we say equality of a population, it means that educated, well-resourced population that can meet the transformative agenda that Rwanda has set for itself. The long term is not just the family planning per se, but the universal health coverage. And this is very, very important.
At a conference in Kenya 2 years ago, Rwanda set itself the goal of improving the quality of family planning services available to those in need and increasing the number of different family planning services available to all who need these services. UNFPA is committed to ensuring that every pregnancy is wanted, every childbirth is safe, and every young person's potential is fulfilled. Universal access to safe, high-quality reproductive health care is central to achieving this vision. The family planning business case demonstrates the returns Rwanda will get from investing in the family planning, on average between 2015 and 2050. Every $1 invested in family planning could yield $112 in returns or savings across many sectors. The sector will have a multiplier effect on the economic development of the country. Siddhi Patel, RTV News.
On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you so much for your company. I'm Jane Mutoni. Bye for now.